Cut the online noise with SEO Context Marketing. You are now tuned into the Marketing Club as usual in the We Don't Play podcast show, and I'm excited to have you here with me. I am your host, Favour Obasi-ike, and I'm excited to share this space with you today and really give you some insights on how you can start building your business and also cutting the noise, with SEO context marketing. And I think when I think about cutting the noise, I think about context. Welcome, Austin. It's going to be a good room today. I'm really thrilled, and I want to also engage with people as well today because it's context. If it's context, I can't be talking by myself. So I'm excited that we're going to learn some things and also focus on what's really important right now, which is building relationships, right? Building the right connections, building the right flow of, where you are giving the most attention to and you're also requiring the most attention from. So all those things have to play, a huge result, you know, and these results have to also play into how you create connections, and this is the best way you can do it, by being intentional about the people you're connecting with. Like, speaking of connections, I have about, I don't even know, like in between, this is probably 20 different messages that have come to me to be a guest on the show. Some people want me to be on their show. Some people want me to be a guest. And I'm just like, wow, I have not been on this app in a long time. It's called Matchmaker and also Podmatch. These are platforms that I don't always go to, but I have an account there and it's like, wow, I'm just looking, I'm like, man, there's a lot of people here. So it's not towards the end of the month. And I usually do it once every 3 months because we're so busy. So busy. Like, think about all these. I'm just looking at all these names now. It's just giving me like a wow moment. Some of them are 3 months ago, 2 months ago, because I don't frequently go in here. And why am I giving you guys this context? Welcome, Nick. Is because when you're also connecting with people, you want to give people the best experience. So right now, the experiences that people are seeing on the podcast, how they're connecting, is they're learning more and they're actually being more action takers. They're more like, I'm looking at my community, I'm like, you guys are actually doing these things. One of them, I just got off a call right now and they just started their own event. They have something going on. They did it themselves. I show them how to do it. They're doing it themselves. So it feels so good. So now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I can't be talking like this forever. Like, at some point, I may not even be talking about this and you guys have everything that I've said. So there's nothing else to say. Now you have to listen. Now you have to go back. Now you have to repeat. You have to rewind. You have to restructure. You have to renovate. Yeah. And that's the reality. So when you restructure the process of cutting the noise with context marketing and building a system that allows you to answer questions from the top down, like thinking about like this: low traffic, more conversions; high traffic, low conversions. I don't know if anyone has heard that before, but that is the reality. That's really what happens, because when you think about how much you're spending time wise, it has to reflect, money wise. It may be a long term investment. It might be a net 60. It might be a net 90. It might be an overnight thing. It might be a per hour thing. But you'd have to really, see where your business is going to take that next leap. If you're really thinking about your business, if you're really thinking about, okay, this is where we're going to be, connecting with the people who are around us, how are we going to give people those access points? What are the direct pointers that people are in need of, right? And if people are looking for information that's going to help them, then let's get them to that point where they can be helped with context. Because contextually, right, marketing is about consistently giving someone information, right? Letting them know, hey, we're here, marketing. Okay, we see you guys in the garden. We see you on the picnic. We see you at the store. Okay, we know that your product is about this. You're in the elevator, or you're doing something. It's connecting with you. Something is happening. It feels good. Boom, something else happens. So it's like a consistent wheel, right, that you keep creating over time. And that wheel is like, it's never ending, right? Because contextually, you have to keep, getting to that point where you're letting people understand, okay, even though you can learn this from me, I feel more empowered and I actually feel more motivated to help you more when I can come back later, a month later, 2 months later, and I hear that you've started a podcast, you started a show, you started, your own SEO agency, you've started a staffing, you've started connecting with people. Like those are things that I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Welcome, D. Good morning. These are great things that you can do. So when you're cutting the online noise, you're cutting the online noise from looking at it from low traffic, high conversions, right? Because when it's low traffic, it means that the people who are think about it, right? Let me just slow it down. I'm gonna just do this real quick, right? Let's slow it down. Low traffic means that there's still traffic, but the time people are spending to make a decision is slower. Let me say that again. The time people take, and I'm going to rephrase it differently so you can hear the other contextual part of it. The time people take to experience a high conversion is when people are slowly in the middle of traffic trying to figure out, what can I understand from this information so that I can get to the next point. For example, if somebody wants to find the best podcast platform to use for hosting, right? They're going to type in best podcast platform hosts, right? Hosting platforms, or best podcast hosting platforms. That's what they'll write. The result they're going to get, right, is going to be a commercial result, right? Welcome, Liverpool. It's going to be a commercial result. And that commercial result is going to decide for the reader and give the reader the feedback that this person is specifically interested in this search because it's low traffic. It's slow traffic. That's what I call it, slow traffic, because it's slow, right? But it's still fast. Don't think it's slow like it's slowing down, but it's low traffic because not everybody's looking for that. Everyone's looking for something. Good morning, Pierre. Everyone is looking for something. So if that something is contextually within your capacity to answer, then you're cutting the noise. You know who does this the best? Take a wild guess. Liverpool, Pierre, good day. Hope you're all doing well. We're talking about, making sure that you're seen online contextually, because when people search for things like flights or type like that, you see Expedia, for example, you find those kind of things. So which company would you say, I've given you an example of one, which company would you say or know online that if you type something regarding somewhere you want to go, I'm giving you a hint, you'll always see their article or you'll always see their page online? Anyone can go.
If that means good morning, Favor. I just want to make sure I understand. So the question is, if I'm trying to make sure I understand the question here. I apologize. I'm kind of working with no coffee. The question is, when I ask a question online, who is it that comes up, like as far as a brand? Am I understanding that correctly? Is that kind of the idea?
Okay, close. And also Liverpool doesn't
I
understand the
don't
question.
I don't understand the question, so I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Welcome, Miss Andrea. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Welcome. So the question is, if you were to type, I'll give you three examples. If you were to type top 10 restaurants in my city, top 10 hotels in my, in Miami, for example, and then, or you can say best restaurants, or I can even say parks, you know, to visit, in this area. Which company do you know that does that everywhere? When I say this company, you guys will be like, "Oh yeah, we know it," but it's kind of like not obvious, but they do it so well that it doesn't even look like they're doing it, but it's being done, and it's for context purposes. I
Is
hope
it
that helps.
TripAdvisor?
Okay, TripAdvisor is one
Is
of
it
them.
TripAdvisor?
It's one of them.
Okay.
It's one of them. There's one I'm looking for. We're almost there.
Expedia,
We're almost there. Don't just think flights only. Think like general. Think restaurants. Think.
Oh,
Yelp.
There we
Skyscanner,
go.
Skyscanner, Skyscanner.
Yelp. Those guys are notorious for that. Like you could go anywhere right now, look for anything, you will find Yelp there, right? Yelp, Yelp, Yelp. So Yelp is definitely the notorious one. Welcome, Julie. Welcome to the room. Good morning. Yelp are great for that because they literally give you the top 10, the top this. So when I said low traffic, that's low traffic because if I'm looking for sushi on a Friday night, but on a rooftop, that's very specific. So the traffic is not going to be as, "Oh, I'm going to looking for a sushi restaurant, or I'm looking for restaurants near me." It's very specific. So when you get a result that Yelp gives you and tells you these are the top 10 places that you can go, this hotel has a rooftop, this restaurant has a rooftop, then you're being more contextual with where you want to go because you're cutting the online noise, right? So when we're talking about the online noise, we're talking about it from the the person who was giving it to you, right? Not from the receiving end. Welcome, Albert. Good morning, and welcome around too. It's not from the receiving point, it's from the giving point. Because when you give information that is cutting the online noise, you're cutting through topics that people are discussing, and it's very specific to the answer you're giving them, right? I'll give you an example. Was it 2 days ago or 3 days ago? I wrote an article on digital billboards versus static billboards. And I said, okay, let me just it was very quick. It wasn't even like a lot because I was thinking, okay, how do I get people to understand this in a much faster way? And I was thinking through it. I was like, okay, let me also help people on Clubhouse too, because this is just one foot into the door that can actually give you more access. So right now, for me, like right now with these rooms on Clubhouse, there are a lot of rooms I've done on Clubhouse. So if you're doing this too on Clubhouse, please try it out. You'll be so surprised and you'll see so much growth on your business, your profile on outside Clubhouse. If you create content, right, that is having the word Clubhouse in the URL, right? Clubhouse, then and of course the name of your house, like this would be Marketing Club. So literally this would be the room, right? SEO dash content context dash marketing dash club dash clubhouse dash audio. If I want to be more specific, yeah, it might be a little long, but I'm giving context to that permalink because it's a permalink. It's like an address. So when you think about a permalink, it's like this is the much context I'm giving it because I want it to also stand out. Now, when I was doing this article for digital billboards and traditional billboards, I noticed people like to say static billboards. So in my mind, I'm like, which one is the prominent one? Which one has more? Like, what do people say more? I said, you know what? I'm not going to stress myself about it. I'm going to do it in a very tactical way. So what did I do? Right now I'm on the second page of Google. Yeah, and that was 4 days ago. So I'm giving it maybe 3 weeks to see what happens by the end of the month. So, and that's what happens. It's like a tree. You know, you plant a tree doesn't just become a branch of olives and an orchard, like, it doesn't become a well lit tree or even a tree that you can actually reap a fruit from if it's not grounded well, if it's not rooted well, if it's not fed well, if it's not weathered well, right? If it's not catered for well. So when you start seeing your pages on the second page, on the third page, on the fourth page, on the fifth page, start getting happy. It's like a baby, 9 months in the first month, second month, third month, fourth, like you're planting a seed. You're planting, like you're preparing for something, right? And that preparation requires patience. It requires diligence. So I'm really giving you guys real life examples here so that you can cut this online noise, right? You're giving people exactly what they want. I want a tree, I want a pomegranate, I want lasagna, I want this. Like I want exactly what I'm searching for because those are the things that people want to have. If I'm looking for fruits, what fruits can I have? I just learned about, some specific, plants, some vegetables that have protein. So I'm like being very specific on like, okay, I'm using asparagus, I'm using these, like these are things that are helping you like make sure that you're also conscious about your health, what you're doing. So I'm giving you guys very specific context parts of this so that when you add your product, it changes. So when you add context to your marketing, it's not just what you're saying, it's where you're placing it, like how you're putting the seed down. Because the article that I did it said digital dash billboards dash versus. When you put up versus in anything, it automatically turns your web page into a commercial page straight from, like, if you just do Instagram versus Pinterest, Nike versus Adidas, this versus that, it's commercial because people are always going to have one side on the other side. There are always going to be two parties, right? So when you have this versus that, this dress versus that dress, this shoe versus that shoe, right? That becomes very specific, right? And we talked about Pinterest, earlier this week. So when you become very specific, you want to add those things. So I said, okay, instead of me, beating about the bush and trying to figure out whether it's static or traditional, what did I do? I used three at once. So I did digital dash billboards dash versus dash static dash traditional dash billboards. So billboards started at the beginning and it ended. So it's like an Oreo, like a sandwich, you know? So if you think about a sandwich, there's a bun, two sides, and then whatever is in there, right? You have it. So whatever is in the middle of the beginning and the end of your URL is like kind of like the sandwich. So I started with a billboard and I ended with a billboard. So the word billboard shows up twice. That's real estate twice. Those are two counts. So you're dealing with real estate based on pixels because when you're also writing, titles, you're not just writing titles based on letters and words. You're writing it based on pixels, meaning that the pixels that you are creating are specific to the outcome of how the algorithm translates your words. If you use a W and somebody else uses an L, the person who uses a W has more pixels because a W is wide. It covers more base, it covers more space, it covers more width. It's very technical, but when you guys are writing content, think about the letters that you're using. So I did comparing digital billboards versus static billboards. And then I put a table in brackets, because when you see brackets, it also tells someone that there's something beyond, just the word, that by itself. So looking at those things are very specific to giving you like results that will give you like answers. And those answers that you're going to get from the pages that you create cuts out the noise. So I just posted the link here at the top so you can see it. So that is on the second page of Google, and this was 4 days ago. So when people say how long does it take to get on Google, it's not it's not getting on the second page because it's a new article or because it just shows up. It's because of the time it's taken to build that tenacity, because once you hit that point, maybe within a 3 month cycle, usually I always give it 3 months, and then from there you can start to see. But within a 3 week to like 6 week cycle to a 12 week cycle, you start to see some different things, especially in the Google Search Console, because that's the first gear. If you can't switch gear 1 to gear 2, you can't get to gear 5. Yeah, so we'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. So welcome, Julie. Welcome, Moran, as well. Pierre, we'd love to hear from you. Then we'll come to you, Julie.
Yeah, I'll add, if I can add to your comment on the lettering and stuff. Part of the issue I think too is many times as entrepreneurs we use these platforms like WordPress, Medium. The first several characters are important, and probably not from, you mentioned the word pixel. It's a little bit even, I think it's even a little bit more nuanced than that. We're maybe not quite as nuanced now, but I'll get to that last point in a second. The words do matter, and I would think that if you're planning some sort of title, to try to get that keyword, somewhere near the beginning or close to the beginning as reasonably as possible. And I say reasonably from the standpoint of, and I know Favor's talked about this before. You want a balance between making sure that you have something in there that describes what you are offering, but not so much so that it starts to sound very unreasonable or really just kind of like not really explaining the post very well or the page very well. Each part that you have, your title, your subtitle, those things, and then maybe the first few sentences in a text, those things are usually picked up in the HTML of a web page. Um, Platforms like a Wix or WordPress, and I'll say with Medium to some degree if you're writing someplace else. Those tend to they usually have space for a certain number of characters, which means the challenge from your marketing SEO, whether you're doing it or having your analyst do it, is to come up with a title that makes sense. One trick that I would share that might be helpful to you, this is a little bit, it's a simple trick, is using a spreadsheet, something like Excel or Google Sheets, and having one column with maybe the titles you want, and then the second column with a set equal to the number of to a character count. Doing this, you can kind of play around. It gives you a chance to kind of play around with the words while restricting yourself to the number of characters which are being shown. That's what that character count is for. So, for example, if I'm trying to do a title for a landing page or a title for a page, and it's getting ready to show, it's supposed to be shown on something I know it's going to show in Google, I might want to have maybe say a character count up to Google might give you like a character count up to like 100. I don't know what the whole number is exactly, but there's a character count where beyond which it doesn't show immediately in the search. And the challenge becomes, you want your key message to intrigue somebody to be able to come to that page or follow through. So what you can do is have a column in a spreadsheet before you put it into your page. Have a spreadsheet with a column for what you're trying to describe, and then maybe a second, and then a second column. And there's formulas within spreadsheets you can do this for. You can do it for character count. I had one for Twitter where to keep it to the 280, I had my spreadsheet set up where it did a character count and then would change the color of the font if I exceeded a certain amount. That way, it kind of allowed me to focus on the creativity part and then not exceed a certain character count where um, For Google is a little bit more. It's not quite as drastic. It's just that you just don't see it. You can still have something more than that, but not be shown. But for something like a Twitter or X, if you say, or something like Threads, there are character counts that after which you cannot go beyond. Your creative challenge is, how do I describe what I want to describe? Be clever, then speak to people, but then not go beyond a certain character count when I have that. But it's a little trick you can do if you're doing a lot of these. It's a great way of kind of setting it up. And then probably even simpler than that, you may be able to do that within like a Claude or a Chat GPT. But I think even with that, I think what you end up with is you might get the character count right, but the creativity part really needs to be kind of set up. And I think even with those tools, you may want to set up something like a custom GPT for or gems if you're doing a Gemini, something that will kind of tell the tool to keep that limit. But the spreadsheet is simpler and it can be done much more quickly. So I'll say that and give that back to you, Favor.
Thank you. Yeah, that is totally true on that. Especially the colors. Because when it's green, it's like go. When it's red, it's like, I gotta stop. When you hear something that hits you like that, you have to react in a way that could make you, push back a little bit so that you're not feeling like, okay, maybe I'm doing too much here. So I like that you said that, because those colors give you clarity, and it also keeps it concise, because sometimes we may not need to use that specific letter. We can just use it in a different context, and that changes the whole message. So that's definitely true on that. Thanks for that, Pierre. Welcome, Julie. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to the room.
Sorry, the sticky mic. Hi, everybody. I mean, I can't even add to anything because you guys blow my minds with all your insight. So I'm going to keep learning. Thank you. And Pierre, are you at the library right now?
No, actually, I'm at home. I appreciate you remembering that. But usually, I am in the library, but not today. Today, I'm sitting in front of the monitor and just trying to stay at home for today at least. Thanks for that, Julie.
Got it. All right. Don't dismiss your public libraries. They're pretty amazing. Thanks, Fave. Thanks, Pierre.
Thanks, Jules. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah, Julie doesn't forget. Amazing. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Moran, thanks for joining the room today. Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you are. I hope you're doing well. We'd love to hear your question, contribution. Please feel free. The mic is yours.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? I just came in a little late, and I was hearing y'all talk about um, being on the first page of Google. I guess when you come up in Google searches, um, I kind of missed that conversation about how to do that. But for some reason, I haven't done anything special on my Google profiles, but I come up on first page normally within the first 3 or 5 listed, or I normally come up in the top 5, but mostly the top 3 in both of my businesses. I show up in Google searches. Now I don't know what I did to do that, or how that happened, or if it's just the luck of the draw or what. But I come up pretty high in Google searches, but I don't think it's anything that I done. So I missed your whole conversation about that, and I would have loved to have heard that. But anyway, I'm just here to learn and listen.
Thank you. Tell me about your business.
I have a housekeeping business, and I have a resale business. I have Southern Belle 76 Vintage and Collectibles Boutique, and I have a 4 booths that I'll resell out of another flea market.
Oh, okay. Okay. And is it online, brick and mortar, hybrid?
One of them is a brick and mortar flea market, and then I just got my own brick and mortar store, and I do also eBay online sales and stuff like that too. But the flea market that my booths are at is a brick and mortar, and the store that I just rented last month is a brick and mortar. But I'm having trouble getting people to it because there's signs inside the building. It's on the popular shopping road, but there's no outside signs saying what businesses are all in this building. So that's what's hurting me. But today I'm going to go set up a tent outside in the parking lot and try to draw people into my store that way. That's my brainstorm for the day.
Hmm. Great. Okay. I think it's our first time connecting. I'm gonna give you a follow and I'll connect with you. And I'm seeing, is that your PTR? Is that the store?
Yeah, that's me hanging my sign at my new store. That's my sign hanging.
Oh, congratulations.
See, that sign's inside the store. All the businesses inside the store have a sign like that hanging above their door. But outside the building, and it's a busy road. It's right across from the police station. It's where all the shopping centers, all the food stores are. It's the busiest part of town, but there's no signage outside. It used to be formerly known as the Spanish Mall, but now it's called the Caraway Place. But the owners have no signage representing what businesses are in there. And it's mostly just people needing office space or salons in there. You know, um, there's
Hmm.
not really traffic.
What's the website?
Um, I guess it'd be called the Caraway Place, but they don't have all the businesses listed on their website that they have.
The Caraway Place.
Yeah, in Jonesboro, Arkansas,
Okay.
have all the
Let's
business listed on their profile on their website.
okay. Let me see. So I logged in. It's giving me,
1000 South Caraway Road,
sorry, say that
Jonesboro.
again. 1,000?
1000 South Caraway Road, Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Oh, I see it. Okay. Oh, oh, I see that. Okay. So I'm gonna do a deep search right now. So this is like the area where the market is, and how often is it? Every weekend? Every how, like, just give them a scope.
It's open every day. The front doors are open every day. The doors close at night, but the front door stays open all the day, so all day long and all night long. So you can make whatever hours you want to make. Because the front door is always unlocked.
Okay. Okay. Now, I think the biggest thing that from what I'm hearing, because this is perfect for this room, like cutting the online noise. So let me ask this first before we even go deeper. Is it okay for us to, pretty much use this as an example and as a prototype so we can see how to solve it?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a quick search. Let me see. So I use a zip code to see, okay, in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Okay. So I noticed that, like, you're right, the signage is not there. I don't see it. Okay. But
Oh,
there's a way. I do see something. So with the billboards, I can see they're about 82. Yeah, I found them. 82 billboards. Yeah, there we go. Because I'm using the zip code. Because what we do is zip code marketing, and that's why I asked about the location, because I want to first know the surrounding and also know if there's anything accessible. Because right now you're saying there's no signage,
right.
visibly for you to access or request or get
Right,
some more
there's
information on.
no
Yeah, and
inside the
sorry.
building. No signage is inside the building, and no one ever goes in to see what's in there. It's just a big white building, and if you don't know what's in there, you won't go in there. And there's nothing saying what's in there. There's a sales bondsman in there. There's a photographer in there. There's a barber. There's a bunch of hair salons, some face spas. But a bunch of the businesses in there are never open. There's two construction companies, a realtor, a home health care office. But like, no, they just use them as office space. There's nobody really in there, and half the time nothing's open in there but the hair salon.
Wow. I'm seeing the excellent cafe there too, right?
It's a good restaurant too.
Sorry?
That's a good restaurant too. It's a good.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a really good one. I'm in Houston, so that's a great brunch spot for
Yeah,
sure.
yes, they have really good food. Really,
Yeah. Okay. So from what I'm looking at now, let me just turn on the traffic lights and see. All right. So
and
right now, of course, there's no traffic because it's
all the
early.
shopping centers and food marts are all pretty much on Caraway Road. I mean, that is like
Perry Road.
the main of
Okay.
our town.
So
Okay. I see. Oh, Go ahead, Hidden, before I,
Uh,
because I'm seeing something
she
on North
said,
Carrier
she
Road, like
said
at Nettleton.
she said Jonesboro, Arkansas,
72401.
72401. So that's near Arkansas State University.
Yeah, I just live a block from the college.
Okay, so that's okay.
Uh,
And what's your business?
I have a housekeeping business, Marin's Housekeeping LLC, and I have Southern Belt 76 Vintage and Collectibles.
Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to gather some little information as well. Just trying to help you out a little bit. Favor.
I think today I'm going to go set up a tent in the parking lot and bring some of my merchandise down from the store and set up a tent in the parking lot to try to draw attention. I got one of those big hot pink at Sports Academy it'd be tents. I'm thinking today I'm going to set it up in a parking lot and see if I can't draw some people in because there's so much traffic down the road. I'm going to see if I can't draw some people in that way today. Some people
Man,
have given me that idea.
yeah, man, we gotta talk. Let me put my business card here because I'm seeing something that I need to show you visually. Um, but we need to get on a call for that one. I'll just put my link in the chat, yeah, so that you can. That's my digital business card. Please fill that and I'll give you a call today
Okay.
because what I'm noticing, I just saw a billboard on the North Carway at Nettleton.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then I can see that's right by McDonald's. There's a
Yes.
McDonald's right there. Okay, so I see the signpost. So on that street, it tells me that we can spend about 10 seconds per slide and we can reach 1755. So it's 1,755 people per hour. And today is Thursday, so the busiest days is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So imagine if you're reaching, you know, let's say round it off to 2,000 people per hour, and you're doing that, let's say 10,000 people in a day.
Honey, you're lucky if you get people in their day.
Right. And if these are the people who are driving that are
Right.
just on that road. So when they see that post close to where your location is and they now know exactly what you do, they're driving on their way to somewhere. So when they know that you have something, thank you, just connected with you. When they have something to look for, they're gonna go on Google. They're gonna go on search. So if you're showing up before they even show up online, you've cut out that noise
Yeah.
because they're not going online to look for you. They're not going online to look for the problem solution. They already found the solution. They just need to figure out where to go.
Yeah.
So with context, now if you offer those things, they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know there was one around the corner." So now they'll take a picture, and now with iPhones and with Androids, you can just take a picture, scan. You can even say put your actual commercial phone number, call us. Put a logo, put the details. No, there's a way we can do it, and by the time it's up there for the whole month, this is the perfect time because everybody's outside driving. Doing errands and everything, shopping. So you could see exactly what's going on. And in a week, you can see the number of people connecting. So most times people wonder, okay, yeah, we can see all these people, but how do we guarantee that these 2,000 people are actually, needing what we have? That's usually the question. Now, normally the answer to that is if somebody has a problem with getting visibility and the solution is right there where people can actually connect with them, my next point of action is to go to even a deeper zip code marketing strategy where I'm able to now know exactly how much are those products, what is the household income of the zip codes and the districts, can they afford those things if they have disposable income. That way, when you're now advertising to those regions, when they're driving to CVS or to Target or to gas station or to the mall, you know that those people are living within those radiuses and they can actually support or even come there because they're interested in your product. based on how they interact. And, people move to places based on schools. People want to be next to best schools, areas that are also prominent, that are also really good. So all those things attribute to the final, so those are some things we can definitely talk about, and I'll show you what it looks like here. And that's just one board out of 81 that I've seen. So yeah, there are definitely options you can get visibility from there in Arkansas.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
I'm trying to now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime, anytime. Does anyone else want to pour into Marin as well? Let her know anything. Liverpool, Pierre, Miss Andrea, Julie, Hidden. Before we go to Gallant. Oh yeah, go ahead, Pierre.
I have not had a chance to look at the site. I have to apologize. I'm kind of like distracted here. I'm listening to everybody, but I'll stand down for a bit.
No worries, no worries. Thank you, Marin, for that great question, and welcome to the marketing club. I'm glad you're here. I haven't seen you in the house before, so it's great to connect with you.
This is my second or third time in.
Okay.
Yeah, I just normally sit in the audience.
Oh, and I appreciate you for joining today. Yeah. Austin has a
So,
question. Yeah, go ahead, Hidden.
I just basically, she said she has collectibles.
Yes,
Collectibles, and then you said a cleaning business, right?
do collectibles and a vintage, um, uh, cleaning business. Yes,
So is the cleaning business like commercial or residential?
I do
And then
both. I do both. I specialize in both. I specialize mostly in hoarder houses, but I do both. I do all of. There's not a type of cleaning I don't do.
have you submitted any proposals to the college?
No, but I do get a lot of college kids because when they Google housekeepers near me, because I live so close to the college, um, they they I'm normally the first one they call
Okay, that's good. Okay. All right. That's
because
what's up.
I show up closest to
Okay,
them.
I will do everybody. I hope we are all doing great.
Hey, Gallant.
Galant, just say
Yes.
Galant. But raise his hand. I want to
y-
bring him up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll come right back to you. Give us 1 second, so we can finish from Marin. 1 second. Marin, anything you wanted to finish on?
No, that was about it. I was just trying to get some kind of advice, some kind of pointers of what I need to do. That's all. Y'all help me. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll connect with you after this. All right, Gallant, thanks for joining today. Thanks for being here, and welcome to the marketing club as well, because I see you also got a ticket. We'd love to hear your question, contribution. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Before I'm going to what I need to say in our platform, I really appreciate a lot because you have from us what we call marketing. As we know, marketing is very, very wonderful in this modern world. So what I say, because today is my first time to come here, but I don't know the role, what is going here in our platform. You have supposed to direct me in order to talk about what I know here. Okay?
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. You have any question specifically?
Yeah, I have a question, but my question
Yes.
is because nowadays we have a lot of business people. Like if you decide to open your own shop, yeah, like you don't know what make a lot of people to be paid. They don't know how to how to make a business. That is my question. That is what I know.
Oh, I see. So let me just say it back to you, so I'm sure I'm hearing it well. So you want to start a business online, but you also want to do it in a way that connects to the right people.
Yeah, yeah, you got it.
Right
That is
people?
what I mean. Because even right now I'm businessman, but I don't know how to do business. Can you help me? A great opinion
Yeah.
and great opinion.
Yeah, I would say just generally the the best thing that you can do right now would be to show up online, but also show up from your home, meaning that you show up with, a website, get on a website, there are different platforms you can use to start, with a website. There is Wix.com, there's WordPress.com, there's Squarespace.com, there are different platforms you can use to start. I won't give you, there's a long list, but those options will allow you to get more information about how people interact with you online, so that when you show up on platforms like here, like Clubhouse, you can have a link, and that link will take them to where you do your business, you do your marketing, and then people start to get to know more about you, because you're addressing questions that people are frequently asking. So that's how you can really connect the dots long term for your business. But it's one step at a time. But please feel free to come here every time if you have time, and connect with us. Where are you calling from?
Yeah. I got your point. I'm Galan from South Sudan. I hope you know South Sudan very well in Africa.
Okay,
Okay.
nice, nice. Thank you for joining. We love that. Yes, yes, I know about South Sudan. Yes. Thank you so much for joining
Okay.
today. Appreciate you. Please click the link at the very top. It says Marketing Club. And once you click that, you'll be able to cash in your ticket, and that pink ticket will leave your profile. So anytime you come back to the room next time we have a room, you'll be able to, be here and be in the house members as well. And that also goes for the people who are joining. Right now, I see you guys as well on the bottom. Please, 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 please make sure you guys click the link at the very top so you don't miss out on the rooms that we have here. We're growing. We are really growing strong. We're at 349.7K. Every week I'm doing a room here, it's going up. So I'm predicting we might hit 350K by the end of this year, the way it's going. So it's like a slow and steady race, but we get there at the end of it all. So yeah, we'd love to, talk about this last thing. Uh, I'm seeing the chat about QR codes. That's a whole topic. That's why I didn't even touch it. But now when Hidden brought it up, I was like, oh, here we go. So with QR codes, this is what I would say. It could be a hit or a miss. It could be a miss if you miss the point of giving the right information to the person who is scanning it based on what they're going to do with that information after they scan it through. Because sometimes people just say, okay, scan the code, and then it takes them to your website. That should not be. You can take them there, maybe there's a pop-up, but more specifically, take them to a place that shows contextually what you're serving them with. Like you see with flights, for example, with Delta, they'll tell you, okay, start your miles, or sign up for this or get this bonuses. They'll take you to those exact pages. They won't take you to the homepage. They'll take you to those exact pages. So as a business, if you're using QR codes, and in those QR codes have, UTM parameters, that's a great way for you to also connect. But Pierre is saying that I'm not sure it would be safe for a QR code on a billboard would have the same task for user, or QR codes are just convenient because the smartphone is likely in hand to capture and send someone to page reasonably. Well, I would say I would focus based on proximity, because there's some billboards that literally by like an electric charging station, you might have a billboard there. Somebody can scan before they walk into a grocery store. Someone can walk into a clinic and see that too. So it's based on where their mind is by the time they're already there. Because if somebody's at the grocery store, they're already in the mindset to make us an expense. They're already in the mindset to pay for something. They already have a budget. They have a plan. They're leaving there with groceries, with items. They already have a goal. Transactionally, that's why billboards are perfect, because you're getting people at the state of mind they're in. If I send you an ad when you just wake up, you're not gonna care because you've not even taking care of what needs to be taken care of before you address whatever's outside. You have to, charity begins at home. So if you're going out there to a grocery store and you have something that is, connected to whatever is shoppable, that is in context to your business, you can say, hey, scan this code. and read our article about, best ways to drink water better, like something so specific like that, that if you have a water business and you sell alkaline water, I just started learning about some spring water too that is competitive. It's an Italian brand that someone wants to go into in California. So I'm learning new things from clients. I'm learning so much. And I'm like, this is the point at which you can actually connect with people and they'll actually care because you're meeting them where they're transactionally thinking about a solution that you can provide. Yes, Pierre.
Thanks, Favor. I was going to add to that a little bit too, and add to the comment. I think the QR codes I don't they're kind of having a renaissance. They were way before like 2009, 2010. People were using them, but the problem was that you had to actually open an app to actually in your phone and then scan. What's happened, particularly with COVID, is that mechanism became a lot more simpler. So they can be used for a billboard. I think the larger question becomes what's the message on the billboard and where they're leading to, and to what you just said, Favor, it's the context of it. If you are trying to have people, if your billboard is giving this sort of very simple message, something that somebody would see or think about while they're driving. And around Chicago, for example, I see billboards for lawyers. I don't know why this is that's been a big thing now, but um, billboards from lawyers, and they just have very, very simple messages. Things like, did you get hurt in that accident? Give Top Dog a call. Or did you get that? Literally is the message on there. Or something like, I didn't get that. Did you just get fired? Call our office. And that QR code could be leading back to a landing page, or something on the web page that would give more information. And the reason why I think I don't know, it's a good question from Justin about whether it's safer between that versus URL. I think is about simplicity in the moment, and I think it's the fact that we can kind of whip out the phone, have it pick up the QR code, and just put our finger in that image and get right to a page and get more information. That's the part that I think is where it works. I think that the safety part, the reason why I kind of go back and forth a little bit on it is because it, even if there was another, let's say a short URL or something like that on the billboard, for example, if it was something nefarious, it wouldn't matter if it's a QR code or that short URL. The nefarious part would be whatever it is on the landing page, and if that landing page was not matching up to the message that promise that was given on the billboard. So to the lawyer example, yeah, it's telling you to go speak to our law offices, but the QR code is taking you to some place that was not that law office, or something that was like, get our law kit for 1995. So I say this to say, yeah, it's part of a larger picture, and I think that's the part that I think as business owners we have to kind of keep our eye open on. So I hope that helps, Favor. I know I talked a little bit.
No, that was spot on. Thank you for giving us that, as well. Go ahead, Hidden.
I just want to get my mindset on, why I put that comment for the QR code. It wasn't, I wasn't thinking like whole, you know, contextually, but at the same time, I was thinking, as a marketer, ABT, always be testing. So, what I was saying is, yeah, it's, you can test both ways, but it's just like with ads. Like you put in the comments, you got to, make sure your ads are up to date, because even with ads, you have to test different ads, different ad sets, different. So people just think, oh yeah, I ran ads, but they only ran like one ad. They didn't run different. They didn't test different, different types of ads and different ad sets and things of that nature. So that was my reason to send the QR code on the billboard. Just thinking of that was just one way of thinking about it. But he was right. The short code might work too. So just always be testing. But like you said, you can have one of the billboards with the QR code, one of the billboards with the short code. So you so like 30 seconds of flash, whatever it may be. And also you can add you can follow that up with something like um, geo targeting ads. So it's different ways to skin this cat.
Okay, I want to add one quick thing too, Favor. And Hidden, I like what you brought up about. You brought up a good point about the QR codes of the billboard. But one thing I want to point out: if I were telling a customer to do testing, I wouldn't test the link versus the QR code. The testing should be more about messaging or wording. And the reason why I say that is because I think in the scenario that you painted out, it's a brilliant scenario. But I think between the URL link and the QR code, they're kind of almost doing the same thing. And it probably wouldn't matter if someone's going to not click on an ad or not make a purchase. It's probably more than likely it's going to be how something is worded. It could be an image. It will be something a little bit more material to. And there are testing for links, but it would be more about the messaging than anything else. I think if someone was trying to figure out like if someone came to me and said between the two, I would do the QR code. Frankly, I just think it's easier for people now. People have gotten acclimated to holding up their camera when they see something, and if there's a QR code, clicking on that immediately. They've gotten really acclimated to that since COVID, and we've been 4 years into that now. But it's a terrific scenario. It's the idea of, we need to be thinking in general, how people can discover a message and what's leading them through and how simple that should be. So I'll land there.
100%. No, that was spot on. Thank you for that insight. This is exactly what we need to take that information out there contextually, because I've said this before, and this is what we'll end with, because I got to jump on a call. Content is king, and context is queen. When you put both of them together, that's a checkmate, because you have added value to the business and you've instructed content to your page because you cut out the online noise. So that's definitely, if you cut out the online noise, you'll always cut out everything else but that information that they're looking for. So this has been great. We've come to the top of the hour, and I'm so excited that we're able to talk about this today. I will be doing another room tomorrow. I'll be bringing it over to you guys, and it's going to be more so on LinkedIn as well, because LinkedIn is so underrated. I've covered Pinterest this week, and I've covered email marketing a bit. I've covered billboards a lot. So I think it would be good to touch on LinkedIn, so you can also see what that can do for you, for your business. LinkedIn is so great. It's so great. If you use LinkedIn and you're using it for your business, especially applying it with SEO and going back to your website, you'll be so surprised on the things that you're receiving on the back end, just because you have content going forward. So I hope you guys learned something about, cutting the online noise with SEO context marketing. That when it makes sense, it has emotional value, it's psychologically making sense, and it's logically feasible, then we can actually do something about the solution we're trying to solve and, provide as well. So thank you, Liverpool's finest. Thank you, Pierre, Miss Andrea. Does anyone want to say anything before we go? I just want to give you guys one more chance to say something before we wrap up, because I know it's been a very intense morning with the context and information. But let me know. Going once, going twice. Okay, I think we've learned something new today. So please listen to replay, and the replays are on. Learn something, and you'll be able to definitely get some information out of here. So thank you for joining, and John, thank you for being here as well. Austin, Paris as well, as Mr. McMillan, Rochelle, Emily, Ifelua, Arab, Ray, Benham, Zamia. Please make sure you're cashing your tickets, guys. Please, because if you guys miss out on rooms, you won't be able to see the rooms here if you're not connected. So the more you're connected, the more you're able to stay up to speed on what's going on. So, and also click the link above, and that link above will, yeah, thank you so much. Click that link above. And if you want to learn about workshops, I do have one next week. If you guys want to really learn about how I do this digital billboards, I have a workshop next week, Friday. And if you sign up above here and you put your contact, you're going to get an email with the schedule for the month. I have 6 workshops this month. I've done one. That was on Monday. Sorry, that was on the 1st, which sorry, yeah, first was Tuesday, and there are 5 more to go. So if you don't want to miss out on these, get your replays, get access to this information, and I'll show you some things with even AI on how you can even use your business within those kind of rooms. It's dope. I did the first workshop that we did this month. I used an AI project manager tool, and it took notes, recorded everything, gave me percentages. Like it's a whole 9 yards. It's the first ever AI project manager. Like it's not like Zoom or Otter. Is it's mind blowing. So I want to give you guys tools you can use, help you save money. So when you now integrate those calls and get off a call and assign tasks to your team, which we do, then it becomes easier long term instead of copying and pasting when we have a whole AI assistant. There's one specific one that I've done. It's called AI assistance and staff management. That's going to be the last day of the month. So that's a deep one. I'm going to show you guys like how my AIs move, what we do in my AI team, uh, literally giving you access to my blueprint so that you can also use it for yourself. And if you want to pay for those services, I can connect you with the people who can help you get set that up. So thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. And I hope you guys learned something new, take information and take action. That way we can all grow together. God bless you all. Take care. And I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.